Hey folks, Country Prepper here. I had somebody send me a message after I did my fire kit for a day hike video. Just that small little tin full of fire tinder that I showed, that I made a video of. And this person, I'm not going to mention their name because they seemed a little bit embarrassed about asking. Somebody that's just learning, just getting started, didn't understand how jute twine worked for starting a fire, how it worked as a tinder, because it's all wound up and it doesn't burn like a wick. Couldn't get it started with a ferro rod. Trying to do like you see in a lot of YouTube videos, people striking their ferro rod with a knife. And so I'm just going to use, this is my SCHF 36 that I polished up and took the coating off, and the ferro rod that came with it. Just a common type of way to strike a ferro rod and start a fire. So I thought, instead of writing out a lengthy message trying to describe how it's done, figured I'd just make a video, and then if anybody else has the question, hey, there you go. I can just point them to that. So I'll zoom in and we'll get started. Okay, so I think the first thing to answer the person that actually asked the question, I think the first problem you are having is you have to separate these fibers. And all you got to do is, probably ought to do that a little closer to the end. I thought I was, but apparently not. Is separate these fibers out. You can just pick them apart. And you can do this with, smaller pieces to make it a little bit easier. But just unravel it. First part. And sometimes it'll knot up on you just like it just did me. But it's to no consequence. And it doesn't have to be anything perfect. What you're doing is you're creating more surface area. So that it's easier for the sparks off of your ferro rod to ignite it. I should have done a little bit of this ahead of time, but I guess you'll get to see the whole process this way. And I really hope I'm staying in frame. When I get the camera pointed down at this stump that I use, I can't see the viewfinder very well. Or the view screen, whatever you want to call it. So you just keep untwisting. I've got about 3 feet here, which is a little more than you actually need, but the more you use and the more you fluff it up, the longer it's going to last, for one, and the more area you'll have for your spark to settle down into. Now this is where it really gets down into the fine fibers, and you really want to fluff those up just as good as you possibly can. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time doing it, just as long as you end up with a big ball of fluff at the end. Now this might actually be something for the prepper types out there like I am. Something you could actually do ahead of time and then stuff it into a straw and seal the ends of it to keep it watertight. Now that is plenty big of a ball, but I'll go ahead and finish up what I got here. Might as well use it all since I've got it all tore apart. piece. And there you go. Now you have what most people refer to as a bird's nest. Now one little tip I'm going to throw in on this is something that a lot of people usually carry, and that is chapstick. Chapstick's main ingredient, if you can see that, is white petrolatum. The same thing used in petroleum jelly or Vaseline for a name brand. And all you have to do is just take your finger and get a chunk of that stuff off and rub it into the fibers. And that will extend the burn time of this by quite a bit. The more you use, the longer it'll burn. So there you go. You got your little bird's nest with a little chapstick in there. Now, my favorite way of getting a tinder bundle like this, lit with a ferro rod, you know how most people, they'll try to throw sparks like that. I don't prefer that method. There's two methods that I prefer, and that is to keep your knife planted, your hand with your knife, plant that, and pull the ferro rod back from it. That is the best way to ensure your sparks go where you want them to. Now you can also set your ferro rod right down in the bundle and push the sparks into it, like that. That, to me, is the absolute best way. The pull way will work and it will shoot a few more sparks, but doing it like this is almost guaranteed, and you'll use up less of your ferro rod. And my wife just decided to start the car right outside the garage door, so that's the noise you're hearing. But there you go. That's how I make a tinder bundle out of jute twine. And you can see this area right here. I believe that's where the chapstick was, and that's where it's burning the best. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I hope I was thorough enough in that. I hope you liked the little tip that I threw in there with the chapstick. And you know, if you have any other questions, feel free to send me a message. You can send me messages on Facebook or Twitter. I pay attention to every one of them every day. So I hope it helped. Anyway, so one thing, I'm going to stop trying to push my Amazon store and that kind of stuff. Honestly, the best thing you can do to help my channel, to support the channel, is share my video. Share my videos with other people. Hopefully it helps somebody in the process, and it'll get more people coming in, and get the channel to grow that way. So I'd really appreciate it if you share my video on any social media, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever you're into. So please share, and I really appreciate it. Today's shout out goes to Jason McDaniel. This is another young guy, got a fairly new channel. I think he's got, well, at the time of this video, he had 25 subs and like 22 videos, I think. Some of those videos, like 3 or 4 of them, have over 100 views. One of them was almost to 300 views when I just looked at it before I came out to this do this video. So, Jason, he's very knowledgeable. He gets outdoors a lot. He's got some pretty cool kits that he's put together. Bug out kits and fire kits, and he's just he's coming up, and I really like his channel. I've watched every video of his, and I haven't commented on all of them, but you don't always need to. Just watch and share them. So that helps him out a bunch. So that one's for you today, Jason. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.